Dok, suchapia story.
Wase, jana nilikuwa napiga ndirao mtaani. Nilikuwa na 20 bob kwa tenje. Nikauliza, tashindaje vimeja na 20 bob kwa tenje? Kiasi. Huyu meka kapopwa kutoka chini ya ndai akadai, si ubet na betika ni grand jackpot. Na 20 bob unaweza shinda hadi 50 mili. Nikamshow. Lakini pia sina bundles. Alafu madhawa mayai litokea tu akidai, lakini na betika unaweza bet bila bundles.
Tulia. So unaweza betika na mbao ushinde 50 mili bila bundles.
Kabisa. Ukibetika unapata more. Pata more na betika.
Hii story imeletwa kwako na Betika, the official sponsors of happiness. Gambling can be addictive. Play responsibly. Not for persons under 18 years of age. This advert is authorized and regulated by the Betting Control and Licensing Board. License number BK281. Betika, jukwaa la mabingwa.
Everyone, this is Radul Live, where we cover all the sport and try to get you to understand what's happening in Kenyan sport. So, thank you for tuning in. Today, I have two gentlemen, if I can call them gentlemen, I'm assuming you're gentlemen, from Sweden, who are going to tell us all about scouting. Yes, something that we think is I don't know. I think we don't fully understand how scouting works, and I'm hoping you guys can enlighten us somewhat. So I'd like to introduce to you Tobias Ackerman.
Thank you.
And Patrik. Correctly.
Yes, that's more than okay.
From Sweden. Patrik, let me start with you. What do you do? Help us to understand who you are and what you do.
Well, I am actually not a scout. I am a football agent. I'm representing players. I'm advising them, and I'm trying to help the players I work with maximize their careers, go to as good clubs as possible, and make as much money as possible. That's my job. So I work with scouts. I have scouts in my company that are scouting players for me, looking for. Scouting mean basically searching for, looking for. And then I have cooperation with a lot of clubs, for example, ICA, which Mr. Tobias is the chief scout for.
Mm-hmm. So thanks for the introduction. Let me come to you, Tobias. Yeah. What do you do?
Oh, I'm the chief scout of AIK Stockholm. I travel around Sweden and around the world and trying to find the next talent player or the next player for our first team. So that's my job.
If you can briefly tell us, Tobias, what are you doing in Kenya at the moment?
At the moment, I just travel around and see games. I'm quite often in Africa. I've been in Kenya maybe 4 or 5 times. We have one player, national team player, Marcelo, the left back. He plays for my team, yeah. So I was here to scouting for a couple of years ago, and then he ends up finally to our club. So and he doing a big success, and that has open doors for Kenya players in Europe, actually.
And I'm assuming you're back because of that success.
Yeah.
And based on what you've been doing in Kenya you've been here for a couple of days or weeks?
Yeah, I'm here for a week. Yeah.
You're here for a week.
Yeah.
What have you seen?
Oh, I've seen Premier League games. I see academy games. I see a lot of talent players. So.
And let me bring you in, Patrik. When you're looking for players in Kenya, or I know you work with Atoto Sports Management as well, yeah? What do you look for when you're looking for a player, and how do you decide this is a player I am going to represent? And I'll ask you the same question since you're actually a scout.
Well, I'm looking for players that can make a career in Europe or possibly other markets. Who have the style and the talent and the mentality for the next level. So, because like clubs in Europe, to bring a player all the way from here, from East Africa, it has to be a player that has something special, something better than they find over there so easily. So I'm looking for the very special player. I've been finding many good Kenyans over the years, from Mariga to maybe a dozen others. So hoping to find maybe a new Mariga or a new Marcelo here.
That's not going to be easy. I don't know. Possibly. But in terms of those qualities, what exactly is it? Because we hear things that you have to be a certain height, Kenyan players are too small. What is the special quality, both physically and in terms of ability, that you look for? Because I also hear a lot that our players are very raw.
Yeah. I would say that I just scouting for one club, and I'm searching what we are searching for. If you understand, I speak to my sport director and the coach, and we will look for specific ones that can fit in AIK mentality and our DNA as a club. And we are a very open club. AIK stands for football for all, the sport for all, and we have like 3 East African players in the starting 11. There's Marcelo in the left back from Kenya. We have Bilal Hussein from Somalia, and we have the Eritrea captain for the national team, Henok Goitom. So we have a lot of people from around the world playing for us. So yeah. But I would say that what we will find in Africa is the desperation. You want something. You want to try to do it hard. You work hard. You have a good mentality. That is what I am looking for. Not the lazy ones. You know, you have to work hard. It's the only thing for you to success in football, I think.
But it's when it comes to Kenya, like you say, I agree with you. There's a lot of passion and a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
But I know for a fact that I don't want to use the word fail. We are challenged in that we don't really have academies where players learn how to play football from a very young age. We tend to bump into someone at the age of 16 or 17, which I think for you is already a bit old, who has natural talent, natural passion, but limited in skill. Have you seen that in your experience in Nairobi, not just this time, but in previous visits? Be honest.
No, actually, the players I have been seeing is a good quality. Yeah, this is maybe I'm lucky. I'm with good people around me who can show me the best players. But you can say if you go to like West Africa, you come in here, Patrik, if I'm wrong, but maybe there is hundreds of them there. Here maybe it's 20 or something like that. You understand? It's not.
The scale.
Yeah, lower. Exactly. But it's a good market for us because you have to understand that we are not a club can buy for millions. So I also have to go to places that my wallet can fit in to the national
the budget.
The budget for the player I can buy. So that's
and what's the target age group?
For us, you have to be 18 to sign for Europe clubs. For our club, it's not possible before you are 18 years old. So.
And the limits, because.
Well, I would say of course there's no limit, but we used to take them where they are 18, 19, 20 years old.
So no, it's an important thing for players to know, because I always come across a player who's 25 and says, I want to move to Europe. And I'm thinking in my head, I think you're a little bit old, but it's the nature of the game. Let's come into being an agent. What does it take to be a football agent? And what's your primary responsibility? I just want people watching to understand.
Well, it's a little bit different, like in Europe, where I have where my agency is as the base. Then all players, like from the age of 14, 15, get their own agent normally. At least if you are quite good, you get you choose your person representing you and advising you in your career. In Africa, players are more looking for the guy that can take them to Europe. So, because if they sign for someone here when they are 15, maybe that guy doesn't have contacts, maybe he can't do it. So it's another kind of work, and that's for that reason. I know how important it is for these talented players. They have not only for themselves but also responsibility for their families in many cases. It's not about, football is not just about having fun like it can be for many European kids, but for a promising African kid it's more than just having fun. So out of respect for that, I would not like to sign up a lot of players and be their agent. And then in Africa, in East Africa, I work with Jamal and his agency, and I totally trust them. And when there is a player that I feel that this one can make a career, I can help him, then I advise Jamal to sign this player. We can do something with him. So that's where I would say different. In Africa, young footballers need to be critical about who they sign for, because not everyone can. It's not so easy. It's not so many scouts come like Tobias to this part of Africa. If you go to the west of Africa, it's full of people from there, but it's not here. So here is more tricky. But I hope it will change, because definitely people love football here, and there is raw talent, and I don't know what it takes to reach the same level. Why today it's the level in West Africa is much higher. Like Tobias said, you see maybe 20 interesting players here. If you go around for a week, you see 200 maybe there. I don't know if more kids play from young age or something. I don't know, but hopefully there will be more role models like new Vanyamas, Marigas, and that can inspire more players, because it's big countries here. People love football, so there's no reason why there shouldn't be a bright future, and maybe Kenya reaching the World Cup, which would be my good friend Ghost Muli. I was sitting with him yesterday, and he said this is my fifth effort with the national team, and this time I think I can do it. So I'm praying for him and for Kenya.
Oh, we all are. We all are. What do players need to know when selecting an agent? Because we've seen cases, especially Kenya, we have agents by name who are not, and they've sort of, I don't know if this question is for you or for Jamal, who'll come in the second half, but what is the role of an agent for a player to understand? I just want you to help a Kenyan player who's watching now, in when they're selecting an agent, what do they need to know?
Well, again, if we talk about African market, which we are now at this moment, then it's quite simple. You need to find a guy that can help you to a professional league outside of East Africa. And I don't think there are many with that track record. So I would just advise to be to a young player with dreams to become a professional in Europe, to, of course, not sign for anyone, just to sign for someone that has a track record of successes in the past, or who already can offer a club.
Do you ever get put off by someone who has probably signed too many contracts or come through too many academies?
How do you mean with too many academies?
Because if I know, I'm a layman when it comes to being an agent or being a scout and everything like that. But I know for a fact that every level of your training, if you sell a player to a certain club, every level of their training gets a certain commission, so to speak, based on what you're selling the player for. So is it, if a player has a primary school that he signed, and then a secondary school, then an academy, and then should players be signing at every level or just at the professional level?
I don't really have an opinion on that. For me, it's very simple. When I come here, invited by Jamal and his agency, I want to see players between 16 and maximum 20 that has talent and have the, I used to say, fire in the eyes, a passion that they will want to make it. If I see a player with this talent, with the natural abilities like speed is important in football, some basic qualities, and have this passion for the game, and is between those ages, I don't care of his background. In fact, sometimes, maybe this is a little bit my philosophy, but some of the biggest stars in football, they come from really small places. And if you are, let's say, 17, and you are not trained so much by professional coaches, then the height you can reach from there is so big. if you have a boy that comes from good coaching, maybe he's already on his top level for that situation. This is my own philosophy. I like raw talents. I just want to see when I come here, I want to see the interesting players. Their background, I don't really care.
But raw talent, the age, let me bring you in as a scout. The age really matters when it comes to raw talent.
Yeah, it is. Of course, it does. But in the same time, as Patrik says, if you have the desperation and want to work hard, then we can do something in Europe for the player also. You know, it's not. You don't have to have the best coaches or the best education or everything. You have to have the raw talent and be like mentally prepared that this is tough. It took. We bring many players from Africa, and I would say that there is a starting time, you know, to establish in the new country, and you know, it's so much new things to get into your head. So
I saw on Instagram this week that I think you've signed or you found some talent this week. Have you found any talent that you think can go to AIK or Sweden?
I will not tell you that.
But I saw something on Instagram. I'll ask Jamal about that in the second half, whether you found any talent. But I know it's a process.
Yeah, it's a process.
Because you have to speak to family, then you have to speak to.
Of course.
Yeah.
Meet the player, see him in his eyes. You know, it's a lot of scouting. It's not just to see him on the football pitch. You have to know the player, and that's where Jamal coming in, because he knows the players,
the background,
and the family things and everything, so we can help the player when he moving to us. So it's not just to go to a football game and say, oh, this boy is good. It's a package. You have to think about that. It's a people. You have to like move to Europe. It's a big step.
Have you ever had difficulty with parents in the past?
No, actually, we don't, because I think it's more the agents have the problem with.
Have you had difficulty?
We can have that sometimes, yes.
Because every parent is an agent in quotes, an amateur agent in quotes.
Yeah. Because if they sign for us, then the parents has nothing to do with it. Then this coach decides.
Because that's why you have to limit to 18.
Yeah.
When somebody can make decisions for themselves.
Exactly.
All right. Well, I want us to take a short break. When we come back, I think you're going to be subbed, Tobias. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
You're going to be subbed by Jamal Ibrahim from Atoto Sports Management. He's going to give me more information. Jamal, I'm going to put you on the spot. So let's take a short break. We'll be back in a moment.
Thank you.
Doc, suchapia story.
Wasi, jana nilikuwa napiga ndirao mtaani. Nilikuwa na 20 bob kwa tenje. Nikauliza, tashindaje vimeja na 20 bob kwa tenje? Kiasi. Huyu meka kapopa kutoka chini ya ndai akadai, si ubet na betika ni grand jackpot. Na 20 bob unaweza shinda hadi 50 mili. Nikamshow. Lakini pia sina bundles. Alafu madhawa mayai litokea tu akidai, lakini na betika unaweza bet bila bundles.
Tulia. So unaweza betika na mbao ushinde 50 mili bila bundles.
Kabisa. Ukibetika unapata more. Pata more na betika.
Hii story imeletwa kwako na Betika, the official sponsors of happiness. Gambling can be addictive. Play responsibly. Not for persons under 18 years of age. This advert is authorized and regulated by the Betting Control and Licensing Board. License number BK281. Betika, jukwaa la mabingwa.
Welcome back. This is Radul Live. Just a reminder that you can participate in the Betika Grand Jackpot every single week. And they've made it more interesting. Before, you could only bet 99, put a stake of 99 shillings to win 100 million. Now, you can actually stake 20 shillings and stand to win 50 million on the same 17 matches. Yes. And for a total of 100 days, I think we're 2 weeks in or something. For a total of 100 days, we're giving away a piki every single day, and every entry into the jackpot is an entry into the daily draw for a piki. So just for entering, you could win a piki. 20 shilling, you could get 50 million. 99 shillings, you could get 100 million. Yes, all on the Betika Grand Jackpot. Now, there has been a substitution on set. Jamal Ibrahim from Atoto Sports Management has joined us. And we are still here with Patrik Mork. So, Jamal, habari yako?
Iko poa.
Yeah, but we're doing this in English because my Swahili is challenged.
Come on.
My Swahili is worse. Is like your no. Your Swedish.
My Swedish.
Your Swedish is fantastic.
My
Are you Kenyan or you're Swedish?
I lived in Sweden more than 16 years. Left Kenya while I was 20 years old. So I'm here and there.
You're here and there. But tell me about your relationship with Sweden and how you have used that for the scouting and agency business in Kenya.
Thank you so much, Carol. I born and grown up in Kenya. As I told you, I left Kenya while I was 20 years old. Played football, but I wasn't that top player. Then I start, working with the players. The only country that I was good at was Kenya. That I knew that there was a good talent players. The reality and the good story about this was the first club that I went and spoke with was Tobias Ekman, the scout director, and I told him about Kenya. And it was like, interesting, let's try it. And the first player we tried was the Eric Johanna Omondi, Kenya number 10. He was there for trials for 2 weeks. Unfortunately, it didn't went well. Then he went to Vasalon. That's how all started.
And then you decided, I'm going to do this full time, and name some of the players that you have possibly seen go to Europe. And then, Patrik, you can come in as well with the same.
Yeah. The first player I told is Eric Johanna Omondi, Kenya number 10. Mm-hmm. Then Eric Ouma Otieno, Marcelo. Ovela Ochieng in Sweden. Anthony Wambani, Sydney Lokale to Finland, David Majak in Kalmar right now, and we have many players coming as long as these guys are here.
And Patrik, you've had a long relationship with Kenya. Tell us where that started and how it's been.
Well, it's actually started in the USA because I found two players at college level playing college football. In the US, which were Paul Oyuga and Bonaventure Maruti, Boniek Maruti. And I found both of them in Cincinnati, and they were quite sensational. Everyone spoke about them in Swedish football. They played together as a force for a premiership club called Örebro. And then on the first summer break, Maruti was on holiday in Kenya. And then suddenly he calls me and said, Patrik, I saw a slim, tall guy here that you should give a chance in Sweden. And, I hear that often. Players are not always the best scouts, but I thought, okay, I can bring him. And that was McDonald Mariga. So he came first to the 3rd division in Sweden, and the rest is history. He went to Helsingborg, became the best player in Sweden. He was sold to Parma in Serie A, and then went to Inter. And that kind of kicked off everything with Kenya for me. So after that, during a few years, I brought so many players to Europe. Robert Mambo Mumba, Patrick Osiako, Josh Vavero, Titus Mulama. I don't even remember everyone. Do you?
Those are impressive names.
So, but then the world is big, and I like to focus on. I'm active on a lot of markets. I'm very active in West Africa too, where I found players like Michael Essien, Suleiman Tari, Asamoah Gyan. I have office in Abidjan. So I'm a busy. My company is busy. But a couple of years ago, I got in touch with this guy, Jamal. And for me, it's very important also to not only to find the maximum best players, but also to work with people that you see have the passion, people that you like to work with. And you know, life is not only about making business, also making good business with good people. So he inspired me, and I saw the players that he took to IK and Vasalund, and we started talking, and we said, let's join forces. So that's why I'm here now. It's my second visit, and you know, when I started in Ghana working, they had never been in the World Cup, but with my boys, they went to the first one in 2006. Yeah, the dream is to, we often speak about that, and also with Mr. Ghost, the dream is to be to doing something similar in Kenya to help the country develop some coming big stars, and see this country going to a World Cup finals with our boys. It's not easy, it might not happen, but at least you can dream. So that's a bit of the vision I'm here with.
Somewhere. We have to start somewhere.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I watched Ghana play. I was fortunate enough to be in the stadium to watch Ghana beat USA in Germany in 2006. That was an exciting moment.
World Cup, right?
Yeah, in the World Cup in Germany. And Olunga, you had a hand in one of Olunga's transfers, did you?
Yes, I wasn't involved in him coming to Sweden, but I was involved when he was he moved to China in a record transfer. So I had a hand in that. Yes.
What is how do you scout in Kenya, Jamal?
People talk about a lot of people talk about West Africa, but me, I believe more in East Africa. I believe we have a lot of talents in Kenya. It's not easy. That's why I brought the biggest scout, AIK scout director here. But definitely we have a lot of talents in Kenya. So for me, it's easy to follow up to the different places, from Kakamega to Nairobi to the young players. So it's not easy, but I believe we have talent in Kenya.
Do you go for tournaments, or you organize your own tournaments?
We, like, when these guys are coming to Kenya, we organize the best of the best young players under 20. Yesterday we have a tournament, and I think we got something.
Yeah, it was good. It was good
Still
level
a secret.
there.
Yeah. But it's not impossible to bring these youngsters together, and maybe there's 1-2 players. If we get one player, we are so happy.
If you get one player, but do you also scout for the local league, or it's
Yeah,
strictly
definitely. Yeah, definitely. We do that. We
and the regional league?
Yeah. We were watching the game, the Premier League game, a few days ago. We will watch a Premier League game on Sunday, the last game of the Kenyan Premier League. So definitely we go to the Kenyan Premier League mostly.
So because I know there are a lot of people who are watching who want to go to that next level. If they want to get to Atoto Sports, so they want to know when Patrik is coming back, or when Tobias can see them, how do they get in touch with you? What do they need to do, assuming they didn't make it to the tournament this week? Because a lot of people didn't know there was a tournament, I'm sure.
Very true, very true. What we do is we go around before we do the tournament and look for the best of the best. I don't know if I took the best players yesterday, but I was trying. I went all over the country and I think it was more than 80 players together. But if you want to be part of that tournament, it's easy. We have our office in Lenana Road, a small center that there. You guys can come there and have that connection if you have good player, because we always get a lot of emails, players saying that we are the best, and we give them chance to our center.
They're the best.
Yeah, and we give them, we didn't have that center before, but now we give them chance to the center and see how good they are.
And that's an ongoing initiative. They don't have to wait for the next time Patrik can come, or the next time Tobias can come.
No, it's even better before they come, because if we know you right now, maybe these guys will come next year. We never know. So we prepare you that year.
So you prepare that year.
But I can also add that it's not necessary that me or a club like Tobias is coming, because I and many of the clubs have trust in Jamal. So it's very possible that he recommend the player and we arrange a trial. But with the situation in the world for some time now, it's been very difficult to obtain visas. So for that reason, right now, it's necessary to come.
Yeah.
But normally, the important thing is that Jamal and his people get their eyes on the very best ones here, and that's what we are all hoping for.
What are our chances, Jamal? You speaking realistically, what are Kenya's chances of, based on the talent you've seen in the country, of qualifying for next year's World Cup? I think we're in a pretty decent group, but you never know. And what are we missing in terms of the type of players you know would be scouted, or you know Patrik could grab?
Carol, to be honest with you, it's not easy to go to the World Cup. It's not something that you can just make it like that. The way Patrik said, he took a lot of players to Europe. Then the same players that the one who took the Ghana to the World Cup. So I believe what we are doing in maybe a few years to come, maybe this World Cup with our great coach Ghost Muley, we can go to the World Cup. But it's not that easy, to be honest with you.
But what are we missing to make it a habit? Because it's you need a strategy in how you develop players, not an accident. You know?
Yeah.
We tend to, you find a good player, you find a good player. Being a Kenyan, I want you to speak now as a Kenyan, knowing the system we're working under.
Yeah.
Do we have a clear strategy to develop good players that can play in Europe?
Let me talk about Sweden first, because that's where I live. It's a 10 million population with, I think there's academy everywhere, well-structured academies, and that's why Sweden every year, every European league or World Cup, they're always, most of the time are there. I think it's to build, the youth from downstairs. You can't just dream about the World Cup and our academies. We don't have that real academies. In Ghana we have a right to dream. In Senegal we have a beautiful big academies. But Kenya, how many academies do we have that we can say, I can take these guys, or myself, I can go there and watch, youngsters. So to be honest with you, we need to start from downstairs to the national team to the World Cup, if that's the dream.
Yeah, because then it would have been easy when such gentlemen are in the country to tell them, we already know the centers where you can go.
Exactly.
What happens now is you literally have to go to every corner of the country, or their tournaments, or their school games, and scout for these people.
But I have another angle on that, and people say that you have to improve the coaching, the academies. But I have an example in, I was told there is a really good talent from Kenya, also in the US, playing for a team called Real Monarchs, which is a team I never had heard of. I didn't know there was such a football team. They were like in the second league, a small team in the US, and I checked him, and I thought, shit, this is a good player. And I'm convinced the club to just take him on videos and on my recommendations, and that was Joseph Okumu. And he came to Sweden at the age of 23, which is normally late, but he became a sensation. He was the best defender in the league, and they sold him for a record fee now to Belgium. And another example is Marcelo, who played for AIK. He's also a sensation. Everyone talk about him, and he's now, both of these players are 24. And for me, as an agent, from my perspective, I just think that they are having good careers. They are key players for Kenya national team. But imagine if someone had taken them to Europe at the age of 18. They are good players, but they could have become even bigger players. So this is my agent perspective, and this is what I hope, together with Jamal, that we can, these players should not go to random places around the world in small leagues and then later come to the good leagues. We should try to identify the diamonds in football much sooner, and then Kenya can get real stars. Like Mariga came when he was 17, so I think that's the reason why he reached those levels. Yeah, I would say between, you cannot move until you're 18, but you can at least start preparing. So for me, the perfect scenario is to find a player who is 16, 17, help him develop, follow him, prepare him, then move when he's 18. Then you maximize the career of the players. And this is what we talk about West Africa and comparisons. That's how all the West Africans do. You don't see any player in the Ghana national team that plays for Real Monarchs when he's 23. It doesn't exist. So that's why I think my profession and Jamal's is very crucial, that we hope for the support of the country, the federation, the clubs, the academies, to help us identify and bring the young next stars very soon. Then you can get really good players here.
If I add something, Carol, there, I think it's the management too. If you see a player like Marcelo, when he was 18 years old, he was in Georgia. I think he was with the wrong management. When we took him, he was almost 22, and we took him to the 4th division of Swedish league, and now he's one of the best players in AIK. So the way Patrik said, if we can get these young players when they are 16, 17 years old, I think they will be in Champions League winners like McDonald's Mariga.
I think they need to come to Atoto Sports Management, because I think what happens with a lot of our players, they just want to go abroad.
Yeah.
That's why you find them in little leagues in the States or in different countries. They just want to, they believe there's money to be made outside of Kenya, because our league still has its challenges when it comes to finances.
If I give you one more player that he went up and down, and now we signed him a few days ago and he's going to Sweden. That's a young Mohamed Katana Messi. You know, he's for me, he's an excellent player. He's a good player. I will say to this interview today, maybe in 3 years, 4 years, we are talking about big clubs, but the right management. He's not a bad player. He doesn't have bad attitude, but it's the management that he had before. So let's see. I wish him all the best. Now he's going to Vasalund, which is the second league of Swedish league. Yeah.
Parting shots. What advice for these players who think they can make it big? Do you have a parting shot for them?
Well, providing that you have the talent to succeed, because not everyone have the talent. You cannot just on dreams reach Barcelona. You also have to have the talent. But when you have the talent, work very hard and work with the right people. And I think the good news for Kenyan football is that Jamal is now here. I am working with him. The next Okumos and Marcelos will not go to Georgia or Real Monarchs. We will make sure of that.
Make sure they go to credible clubs.
Yes.
And take Kenya to the World Cup. Jamal, parting shot?
I will take it to Kiswahili. Manze sina mengi la kusema. You know, tuko na watu kama hawa na tuko na hiyo network ya kupeleka next big stars like Michael Olunga. So I believe it's just, you know, haina siri, tupige hard working. Na Kenya football will change. That's what I believe. You know, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, when Patrik was talking about Mariga and these big stars, Patrik wasn't here. You know, it was just a player who was saying, "There's this good player." But now we are here. Patrik is coming. He's coming to our country. You know, to scout. AIK, the biggest scout director, is here. You know, watching our players.
So people need to use you.
You know.
I think we are open to rivals. If competition is good.
Yeah.
If others want to try and make bigger careers for the players, they can challenge us. But I'm sure we will do a good job for the players and for Kenyan football.
Yeah. And for me, your CV speaks for itself. The players you've named speaks for itself. I just want to say thank you. Thank you for coming, Jamal Ibrahim, Atoto Sports Management. I'll put a link again to your handle on my pages so that people know where to find you. And Patrik Mork, thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your stay in Kenya. And I hope you find some more gems for us.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure. And if we find the next big star, I'm sure you will know soon.
I have to be the first to know. And of course, thank you to Tobias Ackerman, who was here early. And for you guys who've watched the show, I hope you've learned a thing or two about scouting, about agents, and how to move from here to 100 or from here to 50, how to progress in football and do it professionally. That's what's key for me. But thanks for watching Radul Live, and see you again next week on the show.